Yo! Welcome to my Onewheel XR review. So this is my Onewheel Plus XR. I've owned it for about a couple months now, and I felt like it would be helpful if I made a review of what I thought on this guy. First things first, please excuse all the gnats that are flying around me. It's very humid outside, and they're really annoying, trust me. I'm gonna talk about just a few of the pros and cons that really hit home for me and what I discovered riding the Onewheel. I was touching on a couple of them as I was riding and teaching you guys how to ride the Onewheel, but I'm gonna dive in and really break down why I think the Onewheel is a great electric skateboard and can really make it or break it for what you're using it for. The first good thing, or the first pro, is that it's just fun. If you've ever been surfing or snowboarding, you kind of know the feeling of the floating feeling, but you're on the streets and you're on trails and you're on the grass, you're on wherever you want to be. I can't explain it until you ride one, either the Pint or the XR. You're basically floating down the street. You're not like pedaling, you don't have a remote control in your hand, you're just using your mind to lean of where you want to go, and you're basically telling the board where and when you want to turn, stop, go. It's just an incredible feeling. I can't explain it until you actually ride one. That's another good thing too, is that you can go anywhere with this guy, the XR. You can take it into any terrain and have no real issues. I've seen people take it and use it at the beach, like on the sand. I don't know about the loose sand, maybe more of the compact sand. It's easier to ride in, but the loose sand probably is a no-go. But grass, asphalt, cement, pretty much everywhere, curbs, bumps, sidewalks, you can ride this thing 98% of where you want to go. If you've never ridden one, I highly encourage you to try and rent one, or try and find a friend that has one, or someone you may know online. You have to ride one before you buy it. If you like it, you ride it enough, definitely consider buying one. They just are fun. I can't put it into any other words. It's just fun to ride. To add on to the fun part is you look really cool riding it. I can't put my finger on it, but it's basically skateboarding, and you have a giant motor that's pushing you along. You no longer have to take your foot and push yourself. There's a caveat when it comes to looking cool riding something, is that people are gonna stop you and ask you what this thing is. I've been stopped on numerous occasions. I've actually met some people that were really curious and interested on what exactly I am riding around, whether it's parks, trails, around my neighborhood, going to the grocery store. People have just stopped and asked me what this is. What I basically tell them is that it's a electric skateboard with no handle or remote. It's fun to see the curiosity in people of they don't know this thing, it's so foreign to them, and me gets to explain it to them of exactly what this thing is. The first con is that it's really dangerous. Riding this thing in the street or around neighborhoods, it may not be as dangerous in like parks or public places that have a lot of straight sidewalks or asphalt pathways or even bike lanes. I've learned that it's really dangerous because I wasn't paying attention one time, and I actually kind of not nosedived in the fact that I was riding too fast, but nosedived when I hit a curb and hit where the sidewalk and the asphalt was at. The asphalt was higher up than the cement, and I wasn't paying attention because I was paying attention to something else, like the hill and slope of the sidewalk going into the asphalt, and I hit that and launched myself forward. I slammed my knee into the ground. I actually went to the, not emergency room, but I went to 2 healthcare providers, got my knee checked out, make sure everything was okay, got x-rays done, the whole shebang, just from not paying attention for 1 second. Like I said, you have to pay attention the entire time you're riding this thing and wear a helmet. The second pro is this thing A big part of the reason why I bought this is that it's an actual means of transportation. Depending on where you live, it could be an actual means of transportation. So in like New York City, Philadelphia, or any kind of downtown city, you really might not have optimal parking, or you have to street parking, or you might not even be able to own a car. I know in New York City, it costs you a lot of money. That's where these electric things come in. Electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards. And it'll turn into an actual means of transportation. Their mile range that they quoted on their website is actually 12 to 18 miles, which is really far if you actually think about it and think of like where you live and your apartment or your house, and you draw like a circle radius of 12 to 18 miles. That's a lot. Like I touched on before, you can go on any terrain. Going over bumps isn't really that bad as long as you're paying attention. And you can really kind of take it anywhere. Of course, there might be some places that say don't bring your skateboard in, but that's kind of like what it looks like, is an oversized skateboard. So I've taken it into Starbucks, Chipotle, what other restaurant and coffee shop I've taken it to the office, whatever, and no one really kind of says anything. It just looks like a big skateboard. It's an actual means of transportation. That's a second pro. It's oversized skateboard, 12 to 18 mile range, and actually, to add on top of it, you can charge this thing up to 2 hours. Like, it takes only 2 hours to charge it. And the charger isn't that big. You can just fit it into your backpack. In fact, this is the charger. It was just in my backpack, and it just plugs straight into a regular outlet like that. And it's not that big either. It's just got a couple cables. You wrap them up nice and tight and put them in your backpack. The second con I have is the price can be daunting a little bit. This thing starts out at $1,800 without this and without these and without some other things that I bought for it, but it starts out at $1,800. That's a lot of money to some people. Like Karate Kid out here. Hiya! I'm gonna have to finish this back in my house. Sorry about that. It's $1,800 for the Onewheel XR. You can get the smaller pint version for $950. It just kind of depends on what you want. If you're not willing to shell out that amount of money, the Onewheel might not be for you. That brings me to the third con, which is the Onewheel XR is 26 pounds. That is a lot of weight to some people. If you're not like jacked like me and you don't go to the gym every single day, but 26 pounds is, and I'm totally kidding. I'm not jacked. I'm not bragging at all. I am just a little scrawny dude. 26 pounds can be heavy for some people, even for me. You're only able to carry it by the top, so you're kind of like close to scraping the board on the ground while you're just walking along with it. So you kind of have to like lean over or shrug up your shoulder, and it's kind of like this awkward angle, heavy 26-pound dumbbell you're in your hand, and it's just sometimes can be really weird. The Onewheel pint is significantly lighter and smaller than the Onewheel XR. So if you're looking for that kind of size and portability, definitely look at that too. My third pro was all about the app for Onewheel. They did a really good job, I feel like. They made it really intuitive. It's all around great. It tracks your rides, distance, and where I went, battery percentage, speed, modes, even achievements. Kind of like Xbox. I used to play video games back in the day, and it was really fun to like hear that Xbox sound of boom, achievement unlocked. And they kind of have that a little bit in the app, which I thought was really cool. One aspect that I didn't get to really explore too much just yet is their kind of community tab, or the kind of thing to where you're able to add friends and look people up by usernames or email addresses, add them to your friends list, and you can like schedule group rides, kind of see where they're going, where they're riding, if they're riding right now, wherever. And it's really kind of cool to where they're kind of building a community of one-wheelers, to where if people have their profiles public that are nearby to me, that I'm able to see their rides and see where they're riding and what they've been up to and like how far they went, what they're riding on, what's their username. And if I wanted to add them as a friend, I could. A disclaimer though, that you can make your profile private so that nobody sees any of your information that's going out, because that can really kind of dive into some privacy reasons, because you might not want people to see exactly where you live if you're just riding your Onewheel from point A to point B. but that point A is your house, and that point B, it might be your work or something. With the app being so intuitive, if you have like a smartwatch, like your Apple Watch, I'm able to see my battery percentage, my mode, and how many miles I have left to ride on my Onewheel is like how I'm riding it. And I thought that was really cool. Whenever you're riding the Onewheel, you don't have a remote in your hands, and it's not probably good practice to really pull out your phone and like pull open the app, but I found it so convenient to be able to just flick over my wrist, be able to see the battery percentage. I could turn my lights on and off, and I can even change the mode of the Onewheel from my watch. I thought that was so cool, and it was really fun to use, especially with my Apple Watch. I just loved it. I'm not sponsored by no means, but I just thought it was a really cool piece of equipment. I have a lot of fun riding on my Onewheel XR. If you're interested, check it out below. I'm gonna stop blabbering. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one.